There's just something missing in the version that doesn't have the compressor on. What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna have a look at the updated version of Acon Digital's Mastering Suite. So they have a bunch of plugins in Dynamics, Equalize 2, Multiband Dynamics, Limit, and Dither. And I'm gonna take these 5 plugins and master a song I did with Electric Tuxedo a while back called Kaleidoscope, featuring Rocco. And I'm just gonna play you the section I'm gonna focus on. It's not necessarily the loudest part of the song, that comes towards the end, but it does feature the most poignant transients, which I think will kind of test the limiter. So let's see what we can achieve with this. This is the mix we have to work with. In the sunset of existence we play. Answers to the questions, to the pain of my confessions, new day. I quite like that mix, but it does need a bit of an extra oomph to make it pop and compete with what's out there on the market. So let's see what we can do with the Acon Digital stuff. So first things first, we have the compression. So what I tend to do with this is, first of all, engage the sidechain. And as you can see, and you could probably hear, there's a lot of low end that I'm going to deal with later on. But for now, I don't want that low end, nor the kick, to be honest, to kind of affect the way this compression will work. Because basically what I want this to do is to work as a gluing compressor. So let's have a listen to this. In the distance, in the sunset of existence we play. Answers to the questions, to the pain of my confessions, new day. Everything can change tonight. So I'm just focusing the sound on only the top bits. And now, setting wise, I kind of like to leave this attack at around 30, just because that means most of the transients will cut through. It's mostly the snare that I'm worried about, and I do want quite a, maybe 150-ish release, just so it kind of comes back, but it's also not fast enough to have distortion. You do have this kind of look ahead button here that will kind of counteract that if you have it higher, but generally speaking, you don't want it to be so low as to get distortion, but so long as to just keep everything down. So I'm just gonna keep this on the ratio on 2 to 1, and let's see what happens. So I can push the threshold a bit, and also this is quite nifty, I can also hone in on exactly what's happening here. In the distance, in the sunset of existence we play. Answers to the questions, to the pain of my confessions, new day. Everything can change tonight, I'm not alone. In the distance, in the sunset of I aim for about 2 to 4 dBs of reduction. Let's have a listen to a before and after. In the distance, in the sunset of existence we play. Answers to the questions, to the pain of my There's just something missing in the version that doesn't have the compressor on. Moving on to the equalizer. Let's have a listen and actually watch what's happening here, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the sub range which I want to tweak. In the distance, in the sunset of existence we play. That's a lot. At this stage, maybe I'd probably go back to the mix and fine tune that. But let's just say I got this. Okay, what can I do about that? Well, I'll just use the shelf, and also this quite interesting feature because it is continuous. You usually have 12, 18, 24, but this one literally just goes in increments of 0.1, which is pretty cool. So in the distance, in the sunset of existence, we play answers to the questions, to the pain of my confessions. New day, everything can change tonight. I'm not alone. In the distance, in the sunset of existence, we play. I like that more. I'm cutting like 12 dBs, but since the mix was wrong, I kind of need to do this. And it's low enough that it doesn't cause that much trouble. What I could also do here is kind of check for other things that might sound a bit muffled or muddy. In the distance, in the sunset of existence, we play answers to the questions, to the pain of my confessions. New day, everything can change. So around there, I think it's a bit too boxy, muddy, and I'm gonna take that out. Not that much, so probably 1.5. Whoops, minus. In the distance, in the sunset of existence, we play answers to the questions, to the everything can change tonight. It's subtle, but I think it takes that unpleasant sound away, so I like it. I'm just gonna leave it there. And also what we could all do is zoom in a bit so we see exactly what's going on. What I would also do is maybe boost a bit of the top end, but with this, I'm just gonna leave it because I have the multiband compressor that I'm gonna use for that purpose. Moving on, we go to the multiband, and let's check this out. In the distance, in the sunset of existence, we So I don't want any of the snare here. I just want that kick and bass and sub bass to be tamed. Without pumping too much. In the distance, in the sunset of existence, we play. Mainly for the snare, now for the kind of clarity in the vocals. And for the sizzle,
distance, in the sunset of existence replayed. Answers to the questions, to the pain of my confessions. New day. Everything can change tonight. I'm not alone. Give it to me. See it in the distance, in the sunset of existence replayed. Answers to the questions, to the pain of my confessions. New day. Everything can change tonight. I'm not alone.
Love that. So what I did was also kind of, even though you kind of do need makeup gain on all of the other ones, I only focused on boosting it a bit more on the high band, just so I compensate for what I wanted to do with the EQ. So I'm happy with that result. Let's go to limiting. I have a lot of headroom, so I'm just going to push the input.
In the distance, in the sunset of existence replayed. Answers to the questions, to the pain of my confessions. New day. Everything can change tonight. I'm not alone. Give it to me. See it in the distance, in the sunset of existence replayed. Answers to the questions, to the pain.
So I don't really do anything with the settings on this one because I like the way it acts on the default preset. I'm aiming for a maximum of 5 dB reduction. I'm not hearing anything funny going on with the transient, so I'm happy with that. You could add oversampling just to be on the safe side.
In the distance, in the sunset of existence replayed. Answers to the questions, to the pain of my confessions. New day. Everything can change.
Love that. So now it also comes with this Dithering plugin, but since this is a pretty complicated subject, I'm not going to delve too much into it. And to be honest, I don't think there's anyone who can do a better job at explaining this than Dan Worrell in his what he did in his previous video. Is just amazing. So I'm actually going to link the link to his video. The idea here is you need dithering, which is kind of adding some noise to your final master, just because through all of the processes that compress the sound, you'll get some bizarre artifacts, and dithering makes sure that those artifacts are manageable. So for instance, this would beat the 16 bits if I were to do it on a CD. So since I'm just going to do it at 24 bits and doing a WAV file, I'm just going to dither anyway. So I'm just going to leave it at 24. And that's it. Export, and we are done. Let's have a listen to a before and after.
In the distance, in the sunset of existence replayed. Answers to the questions, to the pain of my confessions. New day.
And just so we are not fooled by the volume boost, what I'm going to do is duplicate this track and
flying high above an ocean when 2 drops come even closer, so blue. Diving deep in the emotion, my reflections taking over, so new. Fireflies surround us in slow motion, shining bright tonight.
That's about right. So let's have a listen to this section again.
In the distance, in the sunset of existence replayed. To the questions, to the pain of my confessions. New day. Everything can change tonight. I'm not alone.
I think you can tell that even though this is still the same peak level the difference is considerable, and not only in average volume, just because of the maximizer and all of the compression that went into that, but also because of everything sounding wider because you made space for everything, and more balanced. What you want to get out of a master is just make sure that you add that final balance to a mix, and also get it to a level that is acceptable for current streaming platforms and all that. Actually, if you're interested in more on mastering, the guys at Isotope have an amazing series that focuses just on the mastering process and why you would do certain things. So check that out. I'll put it in the description. And in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed the video. Definitely check out the Acon Mastering Suite. You can do basically anything you want for your final master with those 5 plugins. Check them out. Let me know if you use them, and send some songs master with the Acon stuff my way, and I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot for watching the video until the end. I really do hope you got something out of it. And if you did enjoy it, if you did get any value out of it, please let me know in the comments below. And consider subscribing to the channel, share the video, like it, all that jazz. And I hope to see you next time. Thanks.